Today's topic, CD4 cells. How do they function? What do they function with? Who do they attack? Who is their target? So basically, if you guys don't know what CD4 is, CD4 is a glycoprotein also known as the immune cells, the T helper cells, monocytes, macrophages, and dendritic cells. This was discovered in the 1970s, I suppose, and this is an immunoglobulin superfamily. Basically, this CD4 resembles the likes of the D1, the D3, the D2, and the D4 immunoglobulin constant or variable domains, aka the IgV or the IgC. So basically, the CD4 interacts with the beta 2 domain of MHC class 2, which is also known as the major histocompatibility complex molecules found in antigens or mononuclear phagocytes. Basically, these T cells would display the likes of the CD4, not the CD8. Do not confuse yourself with the CD8. And the MHC class 1 contains the beta 2 microglobulin. So the function of the CD4 cells are actually like co-receptors to the T cell receptor, aka the TCR for short, and assists in communications with antigen presenting cells. This happens more or less in the extracellular domain. It is actually also known as the tyrosine phosphorylate, the immunoreceptor lyrosine activation motifs, the ITAM. To the likes of the domains of the CD3, they actually more or less target the common problems of viruses like the HIV virus. For those of you who don't know what HIV is the human immunodeficiency virus, and it is high genetic variability, and these T cells help express the CD4 cells to target such a virus in this pathology. So basically, in patients with the early stage of HIV, the human immunodeficiency virus, assuming in a reverse mode, the white ones are the CD4 and CD3 cell levels. CD3 and CD4 levels usually have a range of about, say, thousands of molecules in your bloodstream. You have thousands of all of this in your bloodstream. I'm just gonna use some of this. I'm not gonna use all of it. And imagine the HIV viruses are represented by the black ones. So how is HIV spread? HIV is being spread by sexual contact, usage of unsterilized needles, or let's say you go to a tattoo shop, the previous person has HIV, the tattoo artist did not clean the needles, and you get injected this injection into your bloodstream, and then these black cells just invade your bloodstream and bind with the cells to replicate. Without the control of HIV, this viral replication consistently promotes its replication in your body, and therefore you actually turn more of these white cells into, you actually get more of these black cells instead. So the more you get this, the more your CD4, CD3 levels decrease. In a latent stage of HIV, more or less where patients are going to die in the next few months or so, you only get about 200 or 300 of these CD4, CD3 cells to face the countless, inevitable range of HIV cells. So HIV does not kill you, it just affects your immune system. It affects your chemokine receptors, the CCR5 or the CXCR4. It affects how proteins are being developed. It affects your RNA, your DNAs, and it affects your T helper cells to reduce significantly. So when this happens, you are more susceptible to a variety of infections, like take for example pneumonia. Even though pneumonia isn't quite deadly in this generation because of the advances of medicine, it is, however, likely to kill a patient because these HIV viruses affect the immune system, and when the immune system is totally down, a reduction in memory cells, the T cell lymphocytes and the B cells, would result in the loss of memory on how they engulf these cells. So imagine if you're a child, a very healthy child, you go through a lot of illnesses within your lifespan. Your white cells, B cells and the T cells, remember all these viruses and bacteria you've went through and how they target all these, how this immune system reacts to certain infectious and pathogens. The memory helps in telling them what are the best and rather optimal methods to eradicate all these different viruses and infections. But because of the result of you probably having sex with a gay or having sexual transmitted diseases like AIDS, the AIDS, it will cause the inevitable death of you and the inevitable increase in the HIV cells and the significant reduction of your CD4 cells. Therefore, like I've said earlier, you're more susceptible to a variety of illnesses. So, not to insult anyone or anything, but this is generally the idea of how HIV works and what are the uses of the CD4, CD3 cells, also referred to as the immunohistochemistry of the tissue biopsy. So with that said, thank you for watching and please subscribe, yeah? Like give me a likes, yeah? Thank you.